I do know, though, that the demand and the supply is definitely hurting a lot of franchises right now. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. If you've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football. All things pro football, college football, video game football, anything related to American football we discuss in the show right now. Please subscribe. Please hit the red subscribe button. Like, share, subscribe, comment, follow, anything like that. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So there is a predicament. There's a weird situation that we have to talk about really quickly. So I was watching a video earlier from the Pat McAfee show. Great show. We had an Ian Rappaport talking about a certain situation. A lot of them were talking about possibly replacing Baker Mayfield with the Browns. And this issue was brought up. I think this connects to several different things. Let's get into it and go to our dear friend, Mr. Ian Rappaport.
It's not a good draft for quarterbacks, it sounds like. So, I can't just assume the Browns are going to get one. And if you go through the list of the teams that will probably need a quarterback after this year, it's astounding. There's so many. And I don't know where all these quarterbacks are going to come from. So if you're the Browns and you have, again, let's say a quarterback in the top 10, okay? Are you sure you want to let him go and try to get who's behind door number B or whatever? I don't get that.
Well, it'd be letter, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're Rappaport, okay? He's got a busy job. He's got lots of things to do. He can't remember letters and numbers, and you know what he's trying to say. But in essence, what he's basically saying is that right now there is obviously the demand for quarterbacks right now is absolutely positively through the roof. There are so many teams that are I mean, just off the top of my head, I can think about it right now. Okay, so I know we have Atlanta, it probably wants to get some guy for the future. The Lions probably want to get some guy for the future. The Steelers, we're thinking about, the Dolphins are also probably in that neighborhood. There's a few teams out there that you're definitely like, okay, man, well, should we not? Again, I actually think that they should give Tua a little bit more time, just to be sure. I mean, again, if you can get Deshaun Watson and everything clears out with Deshaun Watson, that's okay. But there is an incredibly high demand for quarterbacks right now. They continue on, and they actually name a couple other quarterbacks that you thought were gone that are probably going to actually get second chances. Let's continue on with that video.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers, huh?
Oh.
No.
I thought you guys had put him in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Well, no, we didn't put
your show.
No, Pittsburgh put him in Pittsburgh. I mean, that is not us.
Did that himself.
We didn't do anything.
Saw it this morning. I think Daniel Jeremiah tweeted it that a guy, he was like, Mitch Trubisky is probably going to get another starting opportunity next year. You look at the way Chicago's offense is this year, he's under Josh Allen and Dable. He might, there's a good chance with how few actual guys are out there.
So all these guys stink coming out this year in the NFL or in the college?
Rattler was supposed to be the number one overall pick. They're not.
That's what's kind of bullshit, though. Who knows if someone gets drafted in the second and third round that they thought was just on paper, just some.
Yeah, this guy, everybody forgets right here. This guy right here is a huge Patriots fan, so he's Mr. Yeah, just pick a guy up in the 6th, 7th round. Pick a guy in the 3rd round. Pick a guy in the 2nd round. It'll be fine. It's easier said than done, bro. I mean, you think about that too. And again, I already mentioned, Dolphins, Falcons, Lions, Steelers, probably Texans. There's several teams out there. I mean, I actually think that the Colts are good. I do think they just have to live with what Carson Wentz does. But there's a lot of teams out there that you're just like, man, I mean, where do we go from here? Possibly even Denver. Denver might be looking for a quarterback, although, Teddy's turned it around after that 3-0 and then losing several games there, start that they had. But in essence, basically, what do you do here? So Mitch Trubisky might get a second pick. Mitch Trubisky, they're talking about bringing him back because that's how much of a demand there is for the market. So you guys understand that this is a supply and demand thing right now. So if you have a bubble, what happens in a bubble is that demand was through the roof and supply was down. And then what happens is that the supply caught back up and the demand went back down. There's that bubble. This is almost a reverse bubble where the demand is sky high, but the supply is low. So the prices are jacking up. So people are like, man, well, we can make it work with Mitch Trubisky. Hey, are you sure that Ryan Fitzpatrick is not going to retire? We should bring him back. We should bring him back. So there's, I mean, And a lot of people think, oh, yeah, well, this isn't that big of a deal. We don't need to worry about our quarterback. We're the Atlanta Falcons. We have Matt Ryan. We're good for a couple years. I mean, you say that now, but last night, okay, and again, the Patriots are very solid. So this is at home, short week, so the Patriots have to prepare for a short week. And they come out, and Matt Ryan, 19 for 28, 153, 5.5 yards per attempt, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times, 23 QBR. And again, this is obviously the Patriots are doing a very good job. But again, I want to make sure you see what Matt Ryan's done. So I actually like Matt Ryan. This is his ProFootballReference.com link. And you come over here and you see the fact that he either has 300 and multiple touchdowns, or he's got a 140-yard game, 117-yard game, 164-yard game. He has a couple stinkers out there, and I think it's because I think it's a physical limitation, and again, that might be just me, but, he's got, some decent players on the outside, although right now Calvin Ridley is out on the non-football injury list, but Kyle Pitts is pretty solid. Cordarrelle Patterson was out too, but if you check these guys out, he really was kind of by himself. Kyle Pitts had, 5 targets for 3 catches for 29 yards. It just looks like, Matt Ryan just 153 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. They just had a rough go trying to do that. So I had a video earlier, and I had several guys on it about who I felt like were going to be some top quarterbacks this coming year. Okay, I had a couple guys. I had Malik Willis from Liberty, former Auburn transfer, looking really good for them right now. I had Desmond Ridder. I had a couple other guys. I had Sam Howell from UNC. So there's several guys that were on there. The couple guys I left off. I left off Matt Corral from Ole Miss. He looks like he's playing very, very well right now. Another one that's very under the radar, and I know, played Boise State. He was very, very solid. Carson Strong from Nevada. He has all the tools. I think he's going to skyrocket up draft boards. I'm telling you, and again, it might just be a West Coast bias thing, the fact that nobody watches Nevada games because they're on at 10:30 Eastern. But I'm telling you, Carson Strong is going to be a kind of guy too. So what do you guys think is going to happen out there? I'm checking this out, and I'm like, okay, so there's an immense amount of demand. Okay, does that mean that we ask, Ryan Fitzpatrick to go one more season? Do we ask our dear friend Mr. Trubisky to play again? Do we draft Carson Strong in the 20s or the 30s? Do we draft Malik Willis in the 15s? Do we draft Spencer Rattler anyway? What do we do there? We have to find a way to fill these quarterback vacancies. Even though right now Big Ben can't really move. Jared Goff is not doing very solid right now. I think that Matt Ryan is older and only going to continue to be older, and it does not have a lot of help around them. They could improve the team, obviously, but I do think they'd have to address that sooner rather than later. And unfortunately, they might not be able to address it this offseason, so they might have to live with Matt Ryan for one more year. But I think that's right now what the big thing is that the demand for quarterbacks is sky high, and the supply of quarterbacks. A lot of people said there's 10 zillion quarterbacks out here in the NFL. There's really not, and there's not a lot coming, at least this next year, because I remember the 2021 class was loaded, so the 2022 class is going to be a little light. But we'll see what happens. I know that there's several quarterbacks that are coming back in. Bryce Young at Alabama looks like he's going to be pretty solid. But again, we don't know. It's hard to project that far down the road. I do know, though, that the demand and the supply is definitely hurting a lot of franchises right now, despite the fact that we thought it was going to be helping them out. All right, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to be a surprise, first-round pick? Who is going to be a first-round pick amongst all the quarterbacks that are coming out this year? What do you guys expect? I have no idea. But what do you take of the fact that we went from a quarterback surplus to kind of a dearth of quarterbacks right now? All right, everybody, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, anything like that. I really appreciate it. Share it too. I'll see you guys on Monday for your regularly scheduled programming. I am out.